All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, April the 4th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Bugs Bunny.
Hey, what's up, John? I can't do Bugs Bunny. I couldn't even try.
What's up, Jack? It's about the best I can do. Beer Samurai, eat a carrot. That is what we're looking at right now, folks. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm trying to make my eyes stronger. All the
There you
carotene that are in these.
You got to love that. There you go. And why are you, may I ask, chomping on a carrot?
I'm chomping on a carrot because I'm trying to make my eyes stronger.
Oh, and you're hungry, as you usually are at the beginning of the show.
No, it's International Carrot Day.
Happy International Carrot Day, everybody.
I don't know how international this carrot is. I don't know where it came from.
It came from Mexico.
Well, that'd be international then, wouldn't it?
It would be international.
Awesome.
I mean, to be quite honest, they most likely did. So
it's very possible. I got these what you call it, community carrots as well. It says where they're distributed, but they're a product of the U.S., so those are international. I can eat those.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go.
What are you gonna do?
Are they? What's going on outside there? Is that a?
Oh, I don't know.
Typical day in the city.
Yeah, that's the fire trucks.
That's a fire truck. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's fire.
There it is.
I was gonna say the wind up is what you normally get. You don't normally get the electronic with a fire.
Yeah. What's weird is it's going that way. It's usually going that way. So
Right.
because the firehouse is that way. So I maybe just on a rush to get back home. Maybe the chili's burning.
Maybe they were on their way back from another call. Now they're going to another call. That could possibly be too.
I don't know.
You never know. Anyway, this is possible. All right. Well, we're off to a rip-roaring start here today.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Oh, never mind. No, rip. I'm sorry. This is something that no one would know. My grandmother used to refer to farting as ripping.
Oh, well, a lot of people refer to that as ripping.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Rip one. You know.
Well, there's that, but you would say. She wouldn't say, "Did you rip one?" Because that's kind of crude for a little, Yiddish, Chinese, British grandma.
Yeah.
No, she said, "Did you rip?"
Oh, she just went right to the word. That's it.
It was the verb. It just fart equaled rip.
Gotcha. Understand. All right. Well, there you go.
Well, don't rip at the dinner table.
Don't rip at the dinner table. I got you. What other days are today?
Let's see. We've got. Oh, it's World Rat Day.
Happy World Rat Day. I don't know if you could say Happy World Rat Day. And a rat of the world. I mean, I meant like a man of the world.
No, not a. It doesn't. It's not Happy Worldly Rat.
It's not a worldly rat day. All right. It's not a rat. It's not a rat that's well traveled. It's not.
No. A little bad with stickers from all these different countries and cities on it.
Exactly. That would be a cartoon rat. Is what that would be.
Jerry.
Jerry, of course.
I think Jerry was worldly.
Jerry was very worldly, very well traveled, very intelligent too. Very, very intelligent mouse that Jerry was.
Yes, he was. Then Speedy Gonzalez.
Yep.
Right,
yeah, but he's been canceled though.
Why was he canceled?
Date rape.
Date rape?
Yeah.
You said date rape. Speedy Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Yeah, because he would always like throw himself at women. So I'm not kidding.
I thought that was Pepe.
That was Pepe Le Pew.
I was thinking of Pepe Le Pew. I'm like, what? All he did was run and steal.
No, cheese. You're right. No, I missed it too. And it's funny. It's funny you said it. It's funny I said that actually. I'll tell you. That's right. It is Pepe Le Pew was canceled for date rape, but it's funny you said that because what was it? Speedy Gonzalez, a friend of mine, when Pepe Le Pew was canceled, right? Yeah. And look here, before I'm going to preface this, okay? Believe what you want to believe, back what you want to back. Have at it. I don't care.
It's a cartoon.
It's a whatever,
But I guess it set a bad example.
Whatever. But the bottom line is, it's a cartoon, right? And it's I'm equating it. I kind of equate it because it's a cartoon or whatever. Maybe it's not like he drugged them, and they dragged their prostrate bodies back to his lair, if you will. But in any event, I get prostrate. I said prostrate. I just want to make sure that prostrate. I put the R, the second R. Yeah, prostrate. Not their prostate.
That's a dangerous word to try to use. Well
they're
done.
prostrate bodies, right? So, and anyway, but when that happened, a friend of mine on Facebook, he posted something about next it'll be Speedy Gonzalez, right?
But why Speedy?
Well, he was being coy, right? He was being
Okay.
cheeky. He was just being sarcastic and everything else. So I said, yeah, they'll cancel Speedy Gonzalez because it's too. It's going to say that all Mexican mice are run fast and wear big sombreros. That's what that was the comment that I put. All Mexican mice run fast and wear big sombreros. That was my comment.
Yeah.
Facebook canceled me. They almost put me in jail. They said, take that comment down or you're going to go to jail for 30 days, Facebook jail for 30 days. Because I said Mexican.
All Mexican mice.
All Mexican mice.
It could have been worse. You said all Mexican mice are murderers and rapists.
No, I said all Mexican mice,
which ties back into an arraignment that happened today. But we don't do politics.
We don't do politics.
So we'll leave that alone.
All Mexican mice are run fast and wear big sombreros. That was my comment. So it wasn't even derogatory. Even if it was in the context that they were saying I was saying it in, it wasn't even derogatory because I put the word Mexican in there and had the word all before it. The algorithm in Facebook flagged me. So I just thought that was interesting.
And who's the latest person we knew who got thrown in jail? Facebook jail?
Oh, how many? Who?
Gene.
Gene did get thrown in Facebook jail.
He got thrown in jail.
Right.
Oh, I read what he wrote. I'm like, okay, that was questionable.
It's a little questionable there.
He was trying to be funny, but okay, so I'm gonna take a picture of my bottle here.
Anyway, enough about that.
Because we need a drink.
Yeah, I need a drink. I'm thirsty. I had a long day. Good day, but a long day. Beautiful day. Gorgeous day.
Oh, it's just amazing out there.
Yeah. But I need a drink. So
yeah,
I'm gonna open my beer. What are you having there? What did you pour? I know
I poured a beer.
I figured that.
It's a Solera Foeder aged saison. So it's perhaps one of the.
It was too long. I didn't actually put the Solera Foeder aged on there. It's just a farmhouse ale.
It's perhaps maybe one of the more pretentious saisons I've ever run across. Mm-hmm. But hey, let's see how it tastes. Did doing any of that really?
I've had that one before, by the way.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's very lovely.
It's actually very lovely. So if anybody doesn't know what a Solera is, it's a system where they go from one barrel to the next barrel to the next barrel. I don't know if there's a minimum number of barrels. Is 2 the minimum? Is 3 the minimum?
I think 2 is fine. It could be 3, but I think it's just 2 that they look for.
Just 2, just multi-barrel. Solera just means
more than one.
I thought it meant of the sun or something like that. I really thought it was a sunroom. The Solera is a sun. No, that's a solarium. Never mind.
That's a solarium. Yes.
Yeah. So this is lovely. It's got really bright, summery notes to it.
Very interesting.
It's perfect for today.
There you go. And I was a little lighter, a little more citrusy. There you go. Mine is Appalachia, 4.7 session IPA from Wicked Weed. Got a can of this.
Okay.
Got a can of this down in Asheville. There you go, right there.
I remember you being down there.
Yeah. Had I gotten a 6-pack of it, you would have gotten one, but I only got 1 can of it.
That's all right.
So
I'll live.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There you
go.
Yeah, light, good, decent. Works for me. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Little bit of back end bitterness.
Which is, I guess that's appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, how old it is. It's not that old.
Well, I'll be drinking an old one as my second.
There you go. But in any event, yeah.
It's old. It's been in there for a while.
But nose is nice. Flavor's fine. The little just slight tinge extra bitterness on the back end, but I don't know if that was intentional or to dry it out. Definitely dries it out. So I mean, but it's a session, so is it really that cloying? Does it need to be dried out?
Yeah, some people like it really dry.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it. It's not bad by any means. I was just, for a session, it's a little too, drying at the end. But in any event, it's good. I enjoyed it. So, all right. So as everybody's guessed by now, if you're watching the show or listening, it is just the two of us show.
Yeah, it's not like we got someone in the green room going, "Will they shut up? When are they bringing me on?" No, yeah, it's just the two of us.
Our guests had to reschedule. So we will bust their chops. This is the second time this particular guest rescheduled.
Ooh, they still don't have the record, do they?
No,
they don't.
No. They have to reschedule a couple more times before they get the record.
So John and I have been scrambling about things to talk about, but we had an auspicious day just passed a couple of days ago.
Yep.
April Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
April Fool's Day,
and you're looking at two April Fools right here.
Yeah, we're both born in April, and we're fools.
There you go.
But April Fools, there is very few industries that take April Fools to heart like the craft beer industry does.
Right.
So many breweries put up stuff, and it's usually just a ridiculous beer. And it's amazing how many people actually fall for the particular beer. I know Founders every year put something up. This year's was a gem.
Yep.
Because they put up, because people do pickle beers. There is such thing as a pickle beer. They made a pickle bock.
Yep.
Well, they didn't make it. They said they made it. And
they said they made a pickle bock. Yes.
But the best part about it, they backed it up by having people review it.
Review it, of course.
So it's like, kudos to you. That was well played.
Exactly.
One brewery put up one where all there was a glass of mayonnaise. They even left the mayonnaise, little packets at the base of the glass, and say, "We've been dying to make this one for a while." It's just straight up mayonnaise.
It's just a glass of mayonnaise. Yeah, exactly what it was.
There was a daisy sour cream ale.
Yep, I saw a hot dog mac and cheese ale.
Mm.
That was a good one.
The Kraft mac and cheese one's been out there for a little bit.
Kraft mac and cheese has been for a while, yeah. But it was a mac and cheese beer, and the hot dog sticking, like a hot dog sticking out of it. So,
like the celery out of a Bloody Mary.
Right, exactly. And then I saw the one. It was a chicken pot pie beer too. I
might actually drink that.
I might actually think about around the holidays, sure. But
yes,
but it was you could tell it was a hazy IPA, but it had that little bit more opaque color, a little bit more pale opaque color. Okay. So it looked like it could have been like chicken gravy, chicken broth kind of thing. And in it, they floated veggies. So you saw a piece of a carrot inside of the glass. You saw a piece of celery. It was really good.
For those people who don't like floaters in their beer. There's beers I've had that can be described as chunky.
That was, this beer's a bit chunky. But it was funny. It was funny. It was good. However, a little closer to home,
one brewery took the cake.
Yeah. There was and a lot of other things spawned off of it too. So yeah. But Bolero had posted that they were running out of bull puns.
And they set everybody up a couple days early by stating that they'd hired a new creative director. They're running out of bull puns. They announced the release of 2 beers, which from what I understand, are they actual real beers? I know Goat is, right?
I don't know.
I know, that's the whole thing. I don't know if these beers are real.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I knew this was happening, but I wasn't given any, I knew what they were doing, kind of, sort of, but I don't know that they actually brewed those beers. But they were releasing a running out of bull puns ale or whatever, and then they released a collab. The first under the new branding was a collab with Carton. Instead of Boat, it's Goat.
Yep. Goat stands for not greatest of all time.
Galaxy, Oats,
Amarillo, and
Torrified Wheat.
Oh, not Terrified Wheat?
Not Terrified Wheat. Wheat, that's, oh my God!
They took the wheat and let it see Bob naked.
Terrified Wheat. But in any event, they so that was what Goat stood for. But of course, Carton, Boat,
And we know
Dave refers to it all as best of all time.
Yep.
So goat greatest of all time. But whatchamacallit? So then that led them into saying that they were going to be an all goat pun brewery.
Well, they changed their name to Laro Snort.
Laro Snort, right?
Laro
Snort, right?
But before they did that, they released a beer called Running Out of Bull Puns.
Right.
And this beer, it almost sounds legit for them because it's a sour laden with raspberry, orange, banana, and pineapple. Mm-hmm. And they say, yes, there is milk sugar in it. Yeah. Because we make fun of them all the time for using and overusing and continuously using and ad nauseum using lactose.
Right. Exactly.
So they put this out. And do we know if these two beers are real or not?
I'm not sure. Let's do a little research, shall we?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
do that. So we're gonna do a little research because we're running into Untapped.
Bull puns.
You do that one, and I'll look up goat.
Running out of bull puns. Brian had it on Saturday.
Okay.
Brian, if you're watching the show, let us know how it was. 5 people have checked into it total since Saturday.
So that's sus. Goat. Nobody has checked into goat.
No. So they actually put
it's on there, and it's listed as a Bolero and Carton Brewing.
Interesting.
But no one has checked into it. There is no activity. Oh,
no,
there is activity. It's just not listed in the numbers. And someone has actually posted up a picture of the can in their home.
All right, and it's there.
And that's the only one.
Interesting. Who is it?
There's only one check-in. Jake Knapp.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That is the only activity on this beer.
I see it.
That's a pretty can.
It is a pretty can. By the way, Jake works at Bolero.
So someone printed it up nice. And it's funny because the character on the label down at the bottom looks like it could be a very twisted Dr. Seuss character.
Yeah. Jake works at Bolero.
Okay. So it's still maybe not.
Mm-hmm. And it was 3 hours ago. And it could be a label. I don't know. I'll find out. Well, I'll be up there tomorrow, so I'll report back to you. I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, you got to let them about that.
So a little later in the day, we put up on Coastal Brewworks, we put up a post saying that seeing as Bolero has ditched the bull puns, we are going to pick up that baton and run with it, right? With a little twist, we're going to make bull shark puns. So we're gonna start off with bull shark pun IPA.
And this came from a conversation on our beer drinking group, where initially poked fun at John, like, what are you guys going to do for your April Fool's Day joke?
Right. So we put up, well, after a day's long debate, we have decided that since Bolero Snort has decided to ditch the bull puns, we will begin the next phase of our branding. Effective immediately, we will be taking over the bull pun game, but with a twist. Bull shark puns will be the newest puns in the craft beer pun game. And we will be starting it off with Bull Shark Pun IPA. This will be the first in what we hope to be a new, delicious category of IPAs called Atlantic IPAs. We will be brewing this beer.
This is the part I like here.
We'll be brewing this beer with water pulled straight from the Atlantic Ocean. This tasty new style will be heavily oated with tons of Quaker Oats banana oatmeal for a big banana-forward flavor.
You need that.
There you go.
I really hope you're filtering the water through all the syringes.
Oh, no. And brewed and triple dry hopped with all of the seaweed we remove from the ocean water after we dry it, of course.
So you are filtering it.
Of course. All right. And we hope the salt from the water will add a wonderful salinity that will make this new style a cross between a New England IPA and a Goza. Look for this brand new style and marketing to be available in the coming weeks. Cheers. So,
and we were all jumping on that because for the day I became the Bull Samurai.
Yes, he was the Bull Samurai, and this was this was a Bull Shark pun.
There we go.
That was the label.
It doesn't show up very well, but I didn't have time to send John the image.
I don't know.
Post up.
I could actually pull the other thing up while we're talking. I can just
but we
do
had some
that.
fun with,
On that too, our good friend Gretchen Schmidhauser from.
Oh yeah, that's true. She decided.
She decided in that she's going to be
Bulldog Brewing, little bulldog.
Little dog shark, little
No,
shark
little
dog?
bulldog. No, little bulldog.
Little bulldog brewing.
Yeah, but you.
Oh yeah, little bulldog brewing, right?
Yep.
And then we were going to do a collab called Dog Shark.
But she wasn't going to. She wasn't going to change the logo to a bulldog. She was going to leave it as the Basenji.
Yes, exactly. This was the label for
to be ironic.
Yes, this was the label for Bull Shark Pun IPA.
There we go. You got the wave
right
in it.
21 minutes, the wave on the shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
21 minutes into the video for those of you listening on the audio podcast.
There we go.
So, but in any event, yep, that was that. So we had a little fun with it. That was fun.
It happens every year. You sit there and you wait to see what inventive, disgusting concoctions that the breweries can come up with, exactly. and try to sell it to their fans.
Exactly.
That this is a true thing, and some people actually do believe these. And it's funny because the Bolero one, at first everyone believed, because for God's sake, they've got to be running out of bull puns.
You would imagine. I mean, you always got to get somebody with like a new perspective on it to come up with some new stuff, you know. Because if you're involved in it that deep, it's hard to, you know, you're going to get to a point where it's going to be difficult. You're going to get writer's block to a point. Yeah. So you got to get a fresh perspective, and they've done that. They've done that many times. So. Yeah.
And I remember sending, I think it was Scott, a song called "Cows with Guns," which is just full of bovine puns.
Right.
So if you don't know that song, it's a hilarious song.
Cows with guns.
Cows with guns. Yes.
So, all right. I just wanted to bring this up. Actually, put this together really quick. I thought this was good. Just threw these graphics together. Dave, I don't know if you saw my Facebook post from today.
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, I'll read.
I can actually say it.
Don't.
I'm just saying.
All right, don't yet. So anyway, so I put this up. So we'll just look at it. I got some graphics to go along with. So 3 very difficult things for people to say. Here we go. Number 1. I was wrong.
So you said that without a problem.
Right. Number 2. I need help.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you do.
And number 3, Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. Yeah.
Or as some people call it, Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire. Well, as Mo, if you remember from the Three Stooges episode.
Yeah.
Excuse me, could you please pass me the Worcestershire sauce? I'm sorry, I could never say Worcestershire.
Yes. Lovely.
Anyway.
And I think Brian pointed out that Fonzie could never say he was sorry, right?
Fonzie could never say he could never say it was wrong. It wasn't sorry, it was wrong. I didn't go back and forth. It was wrong. Because remember, Fonzie would go, I'm
yeah, that's true. This is true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What you would call it? Yeah. Anyway. Where are we? Okay. John Starodomsky actually just got back to us. Hi, John.
Yeah.
You're watching. There you go.
Yes, I got it too.
I get you. All right.
I'm opening my second beer already.
Yeah, I'm about ready to open my second one. I'm going to read this first. I want to talk about it just for a second. It led me into this article that I read that Jeff Allworth actually was it Jeff Allworth? No, actually, it wasn't. It was. That was another article Jeff Allworth wrote. But because I was drinking the Wicked Weed, it got me thinking, okay, Wicked Weed, AB and Bev, so forth and so on. I'm not going to read the article. It's way too long, but I'm going to paraphrase it because
to quote Gene, TLDR.
Too long, didn't read, right? Well, I've read it a couple of times, actually, but I'm not going to read it on...
TLDROL.
Right, exactly. This was actually posted on VinePair. Just last week, I believe, or a couple days ago.
VinePair?
VinePair.
Oh, okay.
VinePair.
What site are you? Anyway.
It's posted on VinePair. Yeah. No, it's VinePair. VinePair.
Which is the sister site for Nice Apples.
Right, exactly. So apparently, I'll just I'll give you the nuts and bolts of the first couple of paragraphs, but it's been a rough few weeks for the brands, for the Anheuser-Busch erstwhile craft brewing portfolio. The
Oh
company
yes, I've heard of
the
this.
company has laid off an unknown number of workers from at least a half dozen formerly independent breweries across the country, and effectively shuttered one entirely.
Ooh, who did they shutter?
I'm not sure. I actually was trying to read through it. That's why I read it a second time, just to see if I missed it, but it didn't. It didn't say in the article. At least if it did, I missed it twice. So, sure. And the breweries we're talking about are, of course, just going through it.
Platform Beer Company
They
in Ohio.
really they shuttered
Mhm.
Platform. It's not good.
Yep, they closed down Platform Beer.
That really sucks. Platform made good beer.
It is now past tense. Yes.
Made.
Yep.
Yep. In late February, Trade Pub Brewbound reported some number of pink slips at Blue Point, acquired in 2014. Devil's Backbone in Virginia, acquired in 2016. Of course, Blue Point is out in Patchogue, Long Island.
Yep.
Golden Road Brewing, acquired in 2015 in LA. Carbach Brewing, 2016 in Houston. Wicked Weed, 2017 in Nashville. Yep. And Veza Sur in Miami launched in 2017. A week later,
that would explain why in the Fort Lauderdale airport, Veza Sur is poured everywhere. It's InBev. Okay.
It's InBev, yeah. A week later, Good Beer Hunting noted that some number of marketing staffers who supported AB InBev's craft beer brewing portfolio from the company's New York City office have also been laid off. Yeah. So now it's no secret. It's been out there. There's another article. I was combining it with an article that I read. I believe Jeff Walworth wrote that, put up on Beervana, but whatchamacallit, it was the last time beer went bust. It's not necessarily that craft beer is going bust by any means. It's not. I personally don't think there's going to be anything like there was back in the late 90s.
No. Well, go ahead, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
No, I'll throw it out there. I'm not going to get into too much of it. I've been actually working on my own little article. I'll put it up on the website and Facebook and everywhere else as soon as I finish it. But in general, what I'm saying is that it's plateaued to a point. There's still growth potential.
Depends on where you are.
It depends on where you are. In certain states, it's going to keep.
I agree with you to a point because it's plateaued on shelves.
Right. Well, and I'm going to tell you why it's plateaued on shelves. It's plateaued on shelves because there's no more space on shelves. Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay. And there's no more space on shelves because, and this isn't just like a New Jersey thing. This is everywhere. Breweries 3 years ago, when the pandemic, started, everybody and their mother, every craft brewery and their mother, obviously they had more beer that they needed to package.
And they brought their mothers in to help.
And they brought their mothers in to help package. Right. Yeah. Right. So in any event, there were many more cans out there, and they got them into other states that they not necessarily would have ever gone into in the first place.
Well, this is when we first started to see Heady Topper outside of Vermont.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it was while it was a savior for pretty much all the breweries doing it back then, it's to the detriment of the breweries now. Yeah. Okay. And to all of them, because there's too much beer out there to be sold and not enough space for any new beer to be put on the shelves. And I can tell you that firsthand because
you're trying to sell beer.
I'm trying to sell beer. But the fact of the matter is now that people can get out, especially this time of year, people want to go to the breweries. They're still going to buy beer. They're still going to, that's never going to stop, right? They're still going to go to the liquor stores, beer stores, package stores and buy beer. But they've been finally, I mean, it's been a while now. It didn't just happen, right? It's been a while now. But people went back out and they're staying out. They're enjoying out, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to the breweries, to visit the breweries. So that's a boon for the breweries. Mm-hmm. All right. But the package sales have slowed. All right. So there's a yin and a yang to that. And craft beer needs to find the right balance between it. It's gonna eventually the off-prem sales are gonna flesh themselves out, and the balance will be found, and everything will get back to some form of a normalcy.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see some breweries start pricing themselves out of the shelving.
Some already have. Some already have.
I mean, Drecker was asking what for a 4-pack?
There were a couple of Dreckers.
$26, $28.
There were a couple of Dreckers that were hitting $30.
Yeah. You've priced yourself off the shelf,
Mhm.
or out of the cooler, what the case may be. And there are some breweries, where they're even in their local market, and their pricing is ridiculous. So they'll price themselves off the shelves.
Yeah, it's just silly.
But do
I
you
mean,
think?
if you
I'm sorry, go
got,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you have to charge that much for the now, granted, remember this too. We're talking about Drecker now. Drecker is making the beer. They're pricing it their price. It's got to ship
Yep.
to the shipper
And the
to
distributor is
New
going to
Jersey.
add
Then
their.
the shipping costs have to be added onto that, and then the distributor is going to add their costs onto that and sell it for that much, so they can make their 30%, and then from there the end user, if you will, the liquor store, the beer package
The
store.
customer?
Well, no, in the chain of sales.
Yes.
Obviously, it goes up to. So we're talking about a
You
beer
mean-
that
you mean-
may have only been $18.99. When I say only, I know, right?
Only.
It's expensive too, but $18.99 in the state the beer came from, it's $10 more in the destination state because of all the shipping and taxes and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So,
but back to the breweries that are closing or cutting back. They're talking about the possibility of a beer bust, and I think this is the wrong bellwether to use. This is not the gauge you want to use. You don't want to use an AB InBev because there's a few factors involved here.
no, actually, say what you're going to say, but thank you for saying that. Totally did not get back to where I was going why I
Okay,
moved on to that. But
we went left like we usually do.
Totally went left. Geez, segue, tangent, what?
We always go some cosine? No, cotangent. Oh, anyway,
It's just regular
square root of the arc of the
sine.
No, this is no mathing. No
Hold
mathing.
on, theta goes into never mind.
Pi goes into my face.
Yeah, pi goes into my mouth.
Yes.
All right.
No, I think there's a couple things involved that this is not a good bellwether to determine if beer is doing well or not, because it's an InBev product.
Not at all.
You've got a lot of factors there.
Mhm.
One, InBev cares about margin.
Mhm.
They care about their bottom line. They care about making money. They bought these breweries to try to compete against the craft breweries.
Mhm.
And then tried to make them more profitable and in line with the rest of their catalog.
Right.
What they did not count on is the craft beer world snapping back and saying, fine, go ahead, buy them. We're going to stop buying them.
Mhm.
And sales for all of these places slow down. Yes, when you go to Asheville, do you go to Wicked Weed? Sure you do. Are you going to bring back... You brought back a can.
I brought back
rather than a 6-pack.
A can.
Right.
That was it.
And I remember I went to the Funkatorium.
Mhm.
Had one, just to say I'd been there.
Mhm.
Other than that, no, I'm not.
I
got other places to spend my money.
I had food and one beer in the regular Wicked Weed.
Mm-hmm.
Left with one can, and went to the Funkatorium and had one beer. That was it.
Now, if you,
because it was on the way from one brewery to another one.
Yes.
Pop in, one beer. Oh, cool, and left. Yeah.
Yeah, it's between Highline and Green Man. But my point is, you get a brewery that can make beer as well as Wicked Weed does,
Mhm.
and they still own themselves and not InBev. You might be sitting there all night.
Sure.
Absolutely. But the gloss is off the apple. No one wants, most craft beer drinkers don't want to give their money to the conglomerates. They would rather go up the road to Highwire. They'd rather go down, to Green Man or, Zoacoa or whatever, Dissolver.
Right.
Spend their time, spend their money there to those who are really putting so much effort into the craft. Now, nothing against the people that still work at Wicked Weed trying to make this beer.
Of course.
And we get that, but that's, if I've got my choice, it's not going to go to an AB InBev product.
Right. So here's where I was going with that before, and totally right, exactly what you're saying, to your point. This is not, we know this is happening, and it will level out. And I said what I said before.
It's not Beermageddon.
No, but for what AB InBev's foray into this is for them. It is Beermageddon, and it's time for them to cut ties. It's time for them to cut back. Maybe not cut ties. Well, cut ties clearly with Platform, which I'm very upset about that actually, because Platform, that was great space. Had food there when I was there. Really good beer, but yeah, that's a shame. But good people there too. Really good people there. But yeah. But
thanks for ruining it, Bush and Bush.
Yeah, they're cutting back everywhere else. It's a shame. It really is a shame. Just bottom line, it's a shame. So, what's your second beer you're drinking? I poured it.
So I pulled out something that's been sitting in my fridge for quite a while. Anybody who knows Carton knows that they have their fuckery with coffee beers, and just recently they had. When do they do that? Is it January? Yeah, January.
January.
They do. They put out regular coffee and they put out the irregulars.
Mm-hmm.
Not this January, but the prior January. One of the ones they put out was light and sweet, and I still had one in the fridge. So I figured, well, never drank it on the show, so let me crack this puppy open. And frankly, the coffee flavor is still nice. It has mellowed. The only deterioration I can sense in the beer, and it's a mild one, is of course the lactose. Because lactose kind of gets that the mouthfeel becomes a little grainier,
a little papery.
Yeah, and it becomes, and the mouthfeel then almost becomes a flavor, which is not a good thing when it comes to it. But it's just slight. It's a slight deterioration in it. Otherwise. I just saw there's no head to it. It's supposed to be a nitro beer. The nitro didn't release, so the nitro kind of probably mostly settled to the top. And when I cracked the thing open, I lost all of it because I did the hard pour on it. But flavor wise, it hasn't lost too much. I have to say that.
There you go.
Oh, and the maker of this beer actually texted me today. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
No. A writ of safe passage from King Charles II. Very clever.
Very clever. Yeah.
Oh, I remember one time being dressed like a pirate for ODub Day, and it was in Jersey City, so of course we went to Barcade. Nothing like being in Barcade dressed like a pirate and walking through the streets of Jersey City.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
What are you drinking?
My second beer is another one-off can, another can I brought back, I should say, from Asheville. It's from Highwire Brewing. It's a red rye.
Ooh, so, how is that one? I don't think I had red wine while I was there.
Red rye with New York City, North Carolina.
That would be awful.
New York City grown malt.
Ew. Oh my God, the terroir on these malts are just ratty.
I'm getting urine,
a little bit of vomit and rat feces,
and Subway, definitely Subway. Then again, urine, vomit, and rat feces blend together to make Subway.
Yes.
Anyway, no.
Are we talking about the sandwich shop?
Yeah, exactly.
Because please don't write us. Please don't sue us for defamation.
No. Subway, New York City Subway. Anyway.
Okay, well, they got a letter from the MT.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Brian doesn't work there anymore. So.
Oh, that's right. So.
Anyway, no, red rye. This is fantastic. With North Carolina grown malt. It's Epiphany craft malt.
Nice.
It's a red rye lager. It's from Highwire again. But yeah, there it is right there. There's the can. It's very tasty. Nice, bready.
Got that rye bite.
Nice
beautiful dark color to it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. Take a look at that. Here, it's in the treehouse glass. You can take a look at that. It's really nice, really tasty.
It's got that nice dark copper to it.
Mm-hmm. And it was nice bready, a little bit of rye spice, not a lot, but it's there, and it's not subtle, but it's not overstated. And little slight bit of caramel and nuttiness from obviously the
Epiphany
malts that they're using. So it's really, really tasty. I like it. Wish I had more.
It's always the case. I remember when John was heading to Asheville, we'd been there, before. He goes, "Well, what places can I miss?" I said, one of the first places I told him. Well, the first place I told him shut down. It is World Rat Day.
Bromari, yeah.
We're not really sure what happened there, but apparently, whatever. We're going to let that go. But I told him I think the biggest surprise for us that we walked into, just because we were on our way someplace else, just need to sit down. It was a little warm that day because we were there in August. We just needed to sit down. Sat down, had the beer, and then 4 beers. We're going to go in for one. 4 beers later, we left Highwire. It was, for us, the big surprise of Asheville. It's, if you go to Asheville, do not overlook Highwire.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Good stuff. They definitely do it right there at Highwire, and we're in some chats to get them on the show too. So it's probably not going to be till like June or so, but we'll get them going. But
yeah, and when you think of Asheville, this is not one of the breweries that immediately comes to mind, right? Green Man comes to mind. What's the oldest one there? Hillman. Wicked Weed comes to mind.
Sorry, Hillman, no, Highland.
No, Highland, Sierra Nevada. These Dissolver and Burial. There you go. It's a pretty hat. I almost bought one of those, and I don't buy hats, but I really think they have cool hats. But the those are the ones that immediately come to mind.
Hillman was good. Hillman was good too. Hillman was down in the they're right by Forestry Camp, right by the Burial
Forestry Camp, yeah. which is down by the mansion,
down by the Belleville mansion there.
Not the Belleville mansion, the one when you guys went to the wine tasting.
Yeah, Bellevue.
No, it's there. Bellevue's a mental hospital.
Bellevue is a mental hospital. Belleville.
It's still not Belleville.
No. Biltmore.
There it is. Woof.
Biltmore.
Yeah, folks, it's just.
Well, we had the right letter.
It's talking about the right letter. But no, it's down by Biltmore.
The Biltmore Estates, yeah. Which is owned by the Vanderbilts, and that's a whole other story. So
that's where the Bilt comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was more.
Mm-hmm. And then there was many more. But anyway, fantastic beer. Definitely get to. You're going down to Asheville. Get to Highwire. Get everywhere. Get everywhere, but get to Highwire.
There's a few I can tell you to skip, but I'm not going to.
No, make your own opinions.
Yep, make your own opinions.
If you can't get everywhere, let us know you can't get everywhere, and we'll let you know where you need to go to these 10, right? But go from there. But we don't. But even the ones that we thought were, doesn't matter. That's us. It's still delicious beer. You got to remember, we're comparing it to holy crap. You know what I mean? So
Burial and Dissolver,
right? So.
Which both those breweries are just
ridiculous,
insane stuff,
stupidly good. But
and take your insulin shots before you go to either one of them. This is a lot of some really big, sweet, sticky adjunct stouts that just have amazing flavors to them. Mm-hmm. So good,
crazy good. But everybody's palates are different. So, like I said, go everywhere. Get to as many as you can, and if you can't get everywhere, make plans to go back again.
Yep.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Alrighty.
All right. So, you mentioned before the whatchamacallit, the ODub day when you were walking around like a pirate
through Jersey City. The best part about that is this couple, and they're sitting on a milk crate at the side of the road, and not one of the best neighborhoods.
Right.
And my way I'm thinking is, I'm walking through Jersey City as a pirate. I better own this. Mm-hmm. So I got Meathead with me. He's dressed like a pirate, and I told him he's feeling very conscious, like, just own it. So we're just strutting through, and this one lady just goes, I like your style.
There you go.
Like, ew. And I can't say his name, can I? Well, we haven't said it before, but Augie's wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates hat.
There you go.
Well, it just happened to coincide with International Taco Pirate Day.
There you go.
So that's why we did that. And we started the day off at a barcade in Jersey City. And the best part about it is Meathead walks in. He looks around and he's looking at all the games. He's like, how cool would it be if you could play these?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the bill changer's right over there, dude.
Yeah.
They take quarters.
Exactly.
And
Have
then
at it. Enjoy.
And then I lost him to knockout for about an hour and a half.
Exactly. Which is great.
And he hadn't played it in so long, he puts a quarter in it. Glass Joe beat him the first time.
Yeah.
Who loses to Glass Joe?
Who loses to Glass Joe? So I love what they did. I mean, the first one, now that's obviously the fifth one, I think, in Jersey City, or fourth or fifth.
Fourth or fifth. Because there was one in Newark.
The original one in Williamsburg on Union Avenue, Williamsburg. That's the original one. That was great when that first opened. It was nothing like it, right? And what I loved is, like, if you remember, if you go back to arcades back in the day, I'm talking back in our day, so like
every mall
40 years ago, right? Yeah. The arcade games, they were right next to each other. So, if you had one friend with you or two or whatever, it kind of got bunched around because every machine was right on top of each other. What they do in arcade is they have about a 5-inch ledge
for your beer
between every machine. So it's a little wider, a little bit roomier, and you got a resting spot for your beer. And it goes all the way back too. So you can rest yours, somebody else can rest theirs. It's really good. But
anybody who knows Six Flags Great Adventure, I used to work there, and I worked in one of the arcades.
There you go.
And it was I'll mention more about that a little later, but that was a lot of fun. Now arcade has open. They had 5 locations. They're down to 4.
No, they had the locations they had, and I'm not sure any closed, but
I thought they had one in Newark that closed.
They did have one in Newark. I don't know whether it closed or not. Did it close? It may. I don't know. Not quite sure. But there was Williamsburg in Brooklyn. There was also one. There was also one on St. Mark's in the East Village. There's one.
Is that one's
still there? Yeah. There's one on 24th Street
which Chelsea. Is 2 blocks from where I work.
Still there. There's one. They opened the one in Jersey City.
Mm-hmm.
They have one in Philly, down in Philly. They opened one in.
The one that opened that closed was not Newark. It was Hoboken, I believe.
Well, they have one in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
And then obviously Newark. And I'm not sure.
That one's the one in.
Let's see.
The one in Hoboken's still there.
Right. Let's just see.
Is that Hoboken?
No, I don't think they have it in Hoboken. It's Jersey City. So
it's the Jersey City one. So no, but I thought they had one in Newark that closed.
Let's find out right now. Barcade.
Permanently closed. So the one that was on Broad Street in Newark is gone.
Is gone. All right. So here we go.
That was by Riverfront Stadium.
Yeah. Brooklyn, Chelsea, Fishtown, Jersey City.
Oh, yes. I know that the one Fishtown's right across from the Source.
Yep. New Haven, St. Mark's. And then that's 6. They also have one in Detroit. Okay. They have one in Los Angeles.
The one in Detroit, the shooting games are very popular.
Very, very popular. And they're opening one in Center City, Philly, coming soon.
Interesting.
But yes, you're right. They did close Newark. Newark is closed.
Yeah, that one closed. I know there's one that closed. It was Newark.
Yeah. So there you go.
So alcohol, arcade games, and you're talking the old school arcade games. So you've definitely got a demographic in mind, and that's us old fuckers who have the money to buy all the amazing beer they bring in.
So amazing, but the games are. I mean, it's such a throwback, and every single one. And the best part, how much do they cost?
It's still a quarter.
$1. It's what it was 40 years ago. It's not a dollar machine taking $2 for a game for one play.
Some of them, I think, some of them are 50 cents, but they were 50 cents back in the day. Then
it's whatever they were when they were made. that's the price they are.
Now there is, if you're in Jersey, especially if you're northern Jersey around Morristown, there is a place called the Game Vault.
Mm-hmm.
The Game Vault has a lot of old school games,
Mm-hmm.
and what you do is you go in. They give you a wristband. They scan it, so they scan in what time you arrived,
Right.
and it's an hourly charge. There's no tokens. There's no quarters. You just press the start button.
There you go.
They've got a lot of pinball machines.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of great games there, and the staff is really, really good because if you're there for an hour and 10 minutes, they'll roll you back to an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and you just pay for that hour. It's really it's a lot of fun there, and they're right close to so many great drinking establishments in Morristown as well. You can't drink in a Game Vault, but
Right.
when you're done,
Walk out. Right down the block,
Revolution,
and there you
in
go.
Office, you go the other direction. You've got Sterling Tavern,
Mm-hmm.
Tashmoo's just down the road from them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, there's bunch of places. So
is Hops still in Morristown?
Hops is still in Morristown, sure.
Behind the Famished Frog.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Behind the Famished Frog. Still there.
Good stuff.
Yes, it is, Sam. On that note, why don't
on that note, we'll explain what the little tags under our names mean.
exactly on the well as we
But
get
we'll
to
do it as we get into
do it as we get into it. Yep. So on that note, we'll do our top 3 list tonight.
And what
is our top 3 list tonight?
Old school arcade games.
Top 3 favorite old school arcade.
These are the games that you would go to the boardwalk, to the mall, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Put your token or your quarter in. Great Adventure, there were tokens. There were tokens on the boardwalk too, weren't they?
Tokens on a boardwalk, yeah.
Yeah. But in the malls, it was quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Not the game's quarters.
It was you were playing quarters in the
which I intentionally sucked at.
Intentionally?
Oh yeah. What's the punishment? Is I have to drink? Yeah, okay. Quarter went that way. Oh, damn! I missed again.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oops, sorry.
No.
I'll have to drink then.
Oh, that quarter went out the window. Damn it.
So anyway, all right. Why don't you have at it?
And for a change, it doesn't matter what order we're going in because we don't have dupes.
No, we don't.
For a change, John and I obviously sat at different machines. I'm going to give a shout out to Joust. Joust was so much fun. I think at one point I got up to like level 32 on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had to know how to take on that pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Do you remember how to take it?
If I was standing in front of the machine, I could do it, but I can't explain it to you.
It was not the ground level, but the lower middle platform. You just land and point your lance at the pterodactyl, and it would fly right into it.
Into it. Yes, flew right into it. Yep.
Flew right into it. See,
Yep.
That's the way you took the pterodactyl out. But I think at one point, I think my record was to get to like level 32 on that. I could not do that now. I don't think I can get past 6. I just don't have those reflexes anymore.
There you go.
So we'll go 3, 2, 1 in these. There's a reason for all of them, of course. My number 3 is Paperboy. What I love about Paperboy is you get aggression out by just busting windows up on those houses that were not your customers.
Yeah, but I still want to know how to ride a bike sideways.
Sweep
To go around it.
I actually at one point got so good at Paperboy that by level 3, I had gained almost the whole block as customers. Because remember, if you were perfect, you gained a customer.
Right.
If you missed or broke something on a house that was a customer, you lost that
the customer. Right.
So the Paperboy's number 3. Mm-hmm. Number 2, and this goes back to my times of Great Adventure, and this was Dragon Slayer. Mm-hmm. Dragon Slayer was a next generation game because it was a video and you had to react to the video with the joystick and the buttons. Mm-hmm. And you had to time it. It was a timing game. You have to time everything perfectly. And the one thing about being in an arcade, if you had a popular game, how did you say that you were the next one to play?
Oh,
remember?
No, I don't. How was it?
You put your quarter up.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you meant on that machine. Oh yeah.
No,
Your quarter was the next one. Yeah, of course.
yeah,
You
you're
still do that. You go to a bar and there's a pool table and now you put your quarter on it. You got
yeah,
the next game.
it's still the same thing. There was always because where that banner was, which was that plastic that had the logo and all that and was lit behind it. There was always that ledge there, that lip. And that's where your quarter went.
I'm going to correct you because I always made this mistake too because I always said Dragon Slayer.
Oh,
It's
right.
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. You are correct. It is Dragon's Lair.
Right.
So Dragon's Lair, because I worked in the arcade, I could watch people play it.
Yeah.
So I could see what all the levels look like. I didn't know how they would or wouldn't beat it, but I could see what they look like, so I was prepared for it. So my friend Tommy and I, we people thought we looked a lot alike, but on our off time, we'd go in, and you'd always have your regulars in the arcade that had season passes or whatever. And it was interesting because we'd go in, we'd put our tokens up as next. People turn around and see who was online. They'd take their tokens down because they wanted to learn how to beat the game.
Right.
And they had seen both Tommy and I beat that game. I think I must have beat it at least a dozen times.
There you go.
So
I
Dragon's Lair.
remember when that came out, and like I said before, I did that all the time. Even back then, I called it Let's go play Dragon Slayer.
Yeah,
Dragon Slayer.
But it's
I mean, it is right. Dragon's Lair. It's like it depends on how you. But yeah, and I did the same thing. But anyway, I remember when that came out. I used to go to up in Passaic County, up in Wayne, the Willowbrook Mall was Fun and Games was the arcade up there.
I remember that.
And went there.
It was one of the ones that was actually outside the mall.
It was outside. You could walk in from outside the mall. Yep. And I went. My cousin and I went the day it came. It arrived there on a Friday. We were there that night. So the day I can't speak to whether it was released that day. I don't know. It could have been out a week. I don't know. But whatever. The day that arcade first got it, I played it that night. So, but in any event, yeah, that was a cool game. Anyway,
that was so much fun. And now my number one is, if you look below my name there, it says "Run, Coward." And that is a line from Sinistar. Sinistar was not the most popular game. You rarely ever had to put your quarter up to get next on the game. And it was one of those games that I could just so disappear into the screen and just play it and not really. There was a strategy to it, but it didn't really take. It wasn't like some of the games where you really had to pay attention to so many things. Like Defender, you had that little screen below. You had all these things going on, and Defender was just such a difficult game. I enjoyed playing it, but it was so frustrating. Oh, which reminds me of the hardest game I think ever produced for an arcade cabinet, which was one of the very, very early games. It's called Lunar Lander. You had to have all your angles proper. You had to have your speed. They had set it up so that you had to land a lunar module on the moon, and they actually made it so damn realistic that there was no way anybody could ever land a module on the moon. Yeah. It's just and it really gave you an appreciation for how difficult it was for NASA to put a man on the moon. And we're going back to the moon.
We're going back, yeah. Next year, the year after, yeah. By 2025.
Yep, the Artemis project.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna go. Was it they're going next year, and by the year after,
they're doing a couple unmans,
and
then they're gonna put people back on the moon,
and then they're gonna do one that's gonna go. It's not gonna orbit them. It's just gonna go up to the moon, around the moon, and come back.
Yeah,
and then the 2025. I guess I think they're doing it. Have them land on the moon again.
Back to the moon.
Yeah,
about time.
There you go. All right,
John, cool. You're three.
All right. My three. I want to start out by saying that I could sit here and give you a laundry list of honorable mentions.
Oh my God! I could.
And we'll talk about. Well, I'm not going to do that. We'll just throw names out there of games each after I give my three, right? But I will give a shout. I want to give a shout out. Dave gave a shout out to
Joust.
Joust. Thank you. I'm going to give a shout out. I actually had two. I actually had two other ones for honorable mentions, but I'll throw them in. Just names we'll throw out there, right? Whatchamacallit? I'm just going to give a shout out to pinball machines.
Oh God, yeah. What was your favorite? What was your favorite pinball machine?
There were so many. There were so many. I honestly, I know I gravitated towards one or two back in the day, but that was honestly 40 years ago. I don't remember the name of it. I really don't.
My brother was a pinball wizard. Seriously,
They wrote the song about him.
They wrote a song about him. He was amazing on pinball machines. There's only one ever pinball machine that I was better on than him. I can't remember the name of it. I've never seen it again. He wasn't very good at it, and I just destroyed that machine. I'd pop that machine on a regular basis. Whereas every other machine, he could pop those machines at will.
I could, honestly, 1/4 on a pinball machine. There were a couple of pinball machines that I could sit on, honestly, for a half an hour, 45 minutes on 1/4. I just keep going. But
the only other one that I was decent at was Pinbot.
Okay, fair enough.
I remember Gorgon. Gorgon was a classic.
Sure, of course.
All those Bowie tables.
Gorgon, yeah. But my top three are not only the three that I probably played the most back in the day, but these are the three that you'll find me standing at playing in any barcade. All right, and I'll go in reverse order. 3, Qbert.
Hence the tag under your name.
Hence the tag under my name. The actual little Qbert that hopped around. You know, because remember Qbert, or if you don't remember Qbert, look it up. It's a pyramid of boxes, and Qbert's is a little ball with a nose.
Very MC Escher-ish.
Yes. So Qbert's this little. It's a head with a big snout, nose, 2 eyes, and feet. That's it.
Look like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah, and he just jumps from box to box, avoiding all the things.
But you've got to light up every single. You've got
to hit every box and then clear that board, right? So, and whenever he didn't, when he got hit, when he didn't, if he fell off, he would put those. That's a curse. That's a curse, right? That's his curse, right? So, anyway, so
those people who were just listening, it's the @ symbol, what we used to call the pound sign, which is now the hashtag.
Hashtag, right?
Ampersand, $! Exclamation mark.
There you go. So,
and apparently the censors are here to get you, John.
They're back, yeah, because I didn't get permission to use that. Right? Anyway, but in any event, I move on. That's my number 2. Number 3. Number 3. Number 2. Number 2. Pac-Man.
Pac-Man's a classic. Another one where you've got to clear the board while things are trying to stop you from clearing the board.
Right. There's all little dots. You got to clear all the little dots, and there are 4 power-ups.
Where you can eat the ghosts. Remember the name of the ghosts?
I remember the name of the ghost. Inky.
Right.
Blinky.
Yeah.
Pinky. And Clyde.
I guess they probably let's go with Stinky. Let's not do Stinky. What are we gonna call Clyde? Yeah, we'll do Clyde.
So, but yeah, power ups. The ghosts would turn into
ghosts of ghosts.
Right. Well, they would turn up if you could eat them now, and they would turn blue. You could eat them. Just be careful that because when there was no warning as to when they were going to go back, and if you went to get it and it turned back right then, it ate you.
There was a warning. The music got faster.
Oh, it got faster, and
they started
blinking. Right. Yeah. So you always had to, like, if you could get them before they started blink faster. Once they started blink faster, don't bother. Just don't even bother.
You're gonna die.
Don't even bother. Yeah. But yeah, I used to, and I had there was a few that I had a pattern. I mean, I had my pattern down. Boom,
nice.
Clear the board, right? But that's my number 2. And my number 1,
it's on.
It's on. The first appearance of Mr. Mario.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong. Okay. A big gorilla throwing barrels. And you got to go up, and Mario
you had to go get Princess Peach. She was not called Princess Peach at the time.
No, the princess. That's all she was.
Just the princess.
The princess. Yeah.
There was nothing attached to her at that point, as far as a name.
But the upper levels, once you got past the first 2 levels, then the levels started to get cool.
The colors changed even.
Colors changed. They went from pink to blue or red to blue.
Red and orange to blue.
Yep. So, but it was cool. So yeah, and number one, Donkey Kong. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. So Q*bert, Pac-Man, and Donkey Kong. Right?
And we're talking, so Pac-Man, we're talking like OG, like Space Invaders was one of the OGs.
Space Invaders was the OG. In fact,
in this case, OG means original games.
Original game. Yeah, right. Well, somebody just posted yesterday. Adrian posted yesterday. What was the first video game you ever played? And obviously, it wasn't. It didn't necessarily have to be an arcade game. Could have been your home console or whatever. And I commented back what my first one was,
which was probably my first one.
Pong. Absolutely.
Yep. Pong was the first video game.
Hours and hours of fun sitting on the floor going like this.
And
those of you just listening to the audio podcast, I'm just turning a dial back and forth. That's it.
Pong today would be considered. What was great, and another one of my favorite arcade games, is they took Pong, rather than horizontal, they made it vertical and added difficulty levels into it and called it Arkanoid.
Arkanoid, yeah.
Arkanoid was that one. I remember a bar that I worked at. I was valet, and I'm playing the game, and the runner, I'm about to beat the runners. I'm catching up to he's got the high score, and I'm going to beat it. He walks by and puts the shot down next to me. So I'm playing it and then take the shot. I lost 4 lives in a row within 30 seconds. It was a red death. And he did it on purpose because he's protecting his
score.
Nice job.
Yeah, good job, right? But I mean, there was Space Invaders, Asteroids. I mean, that little dial in the middle. That was it.
Yep.
Just fire and turn. That's it.
And hyperspace every now and then. If
hyperspace
you're going,
is cool.
I usually get hyperspace right into another asteroid.
Right. Yeah. 5 times out of 10, you killed yourself by doing that. But you
and another one of the OGs was Battlezone.
You killed your video game guy by doing that.
Battlezone.
Missile Command. I love Missile Command.
I could never do Missile Command. I sucked at Missile Command. And it's funny because as a kid, I sucked at Missile Command at Game Vault. I was there probably about a month and a half ago. I put up the high score in Missile Command.
There you go.
It's like, I suck at this game. But I guess because it's not all reflexes. It's just planning and looking ahead, where the rest of the stuff is reflexes, which have
more of like a chess game almost. You got to see what's coming. Like you're looking, and there's other things where you can look down. You had your screen where the spaceship was flying, and you could see what's coming at you as you're going. But down the bottom, you could see the big screen. The big picture was this big. It was teeny tiny down the bottom. Just to give, but you can glance down at it every now and I barely did, right? But you just react to what's on the screen. But in any event,
there were some games that were just hectic beyond belief, like Robotron. Robotron was just keep shooting and survive,
or just Tron.
I loved Tron. Though.
Tron was
because Tron had so many different levels, so many different things on it. I loved Tron.
Tron was good.
Oh, Galaga and Centipede were a couple.
I love Galaga. I mean, I love Galaga more than I like. I'll play Galaga will probably be the 4th one that I play at arcade. I like Galaga more than Space Invaders.
I was actually pretty good at Galaga
because you get the other ship can come down, dock with you, and now you have 2.
But more often than not, because you had to let it get captured,
and
then more often than not, while you're shooting other things, you destroy the ship that got captured.
Right.
That was half the trick. Galaga was a lot of fun.
You had to know what you were doing to do it that way. But
was karate. What was that one?
Frogger was
Frogger was a fun game.
Frogger was fun. Jumping across. How's the frog get across? Why did the frog cross the road?
Because I had a joystick. That's why
they had a joystick to get it over there.
Another one I like was Lunar Lander.
Lunar Lander, sure.
I enjoyed. And if you had a bunch of friends, Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, Gauntlet was great.
Elf shot the food. Warlord needs food badly. Oh, that was it. That was a great game. I could play that for hours. Oh man, Rampage. Remember Rampage?
Rampage was good, yeah.
Where you get to play either Godzilla, King Kong, and what was the third monster? It was like the creature from the Black Lagoon. something like that, and you're destroying buildings and people. You're eating people, but if you eat someone that's got a flamethrower, you get indigestion and you lose life. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. Berserk.
That's Berserk. Which one was Berserk? It was like Robotron, wasn't it?
It was similar to Robotron. It's actually before. It was before it though too.
That game was insane.
Yeah, that was.
1942.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, and another one I love, Xevious.
Xevious was good. Which we got Tempest.
Tempest came out almost exactly the same time as Xevious.
Don't
forget to avoid the spikes.
You got to avoid the spikes.
Avoid the spikes.
There you go. Defender.
I mentioned that earlier. Defender.
Defender,
there was so much going on, and it was one of the few games where you go to the left side through the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen. You had to save people from the aliens attacking them and kill all the aliens. And usually, when you're trying to kill the aliens, you're killing the people they've picked up.
The first interactive game where you sit down.
Pole position.
Pole position. Very good.
Yeah, pole position was. That was your first 18 times playing it. You crashed into a telephone pole
every single time. You went through a good $5, $6, $7 before you actually got through the first race.
How to do it. There was a version of it that they came up with where they had nicer cars and you could pick your soundtrack, and then you could pick the course that you're on. It was like Miami, Los Angeles.
That was cool. I
can't remember the name of that one. That was a fun game. And, of course, these evolved into Mario Kart.
Sure.
Which was not an arcade game, but...
No. Zaxxon.
Zaxxon, Zax off?
Zaxxon, Zax off. Right, exactly.
Which one was Zaxxon again?
Zaxxon was... trying to...
I forget what Zaxxon looked like. I remember how to spell it.
Take a look. I'm trying to describe it. You're probably easier for you to look at it and...
Oh, that was such a hard game.
Yeah, it was hard.
Oh, that game was so damn hard. It's hard. It's so impossible to explain this game.
Karate Champ was the one you were thinking.
Karate Champ. Yes, that was.
And there was Kung Fu Master too. There was two.
Oh, I was better Kung Fu Master than Karate Champ, and then of course that turned into one that was very, very popular. Finish him.
Punch Out.
No. Punch Out was the boxing game.
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's one of the later classics, but that's the serious classic was Mortal Kombat. Finish him. So many great games.
So many. That's crazy good.
Anyway, there were some that I hated. I couldn't stand Marble Madness. That was impossible.
Yeah.
Crystal Castle. Was another one that was just like, please stop. And then they got into these arcade games where they took celebrities or stuff like that and turned games into, like, Journey had a video game.
Right. They did.
Right. And then in pinball machines, Kiss had a pinball machine.
Well, I was thinking about this too when you said the pinball machines. I was thinking about this. Do you remember? All right. Let me ask you this. We actually talked about this on the sports podcast. I'll ask you this. I might have asked you this before. What was your favorite Rocky film?
First one.
Number one, right?
Yeah, number one.
Yeah, number one. Number one was the first Rocky was my favorite as well. But all right, of the others, what was your second favorite?
Is 3 the one with what he hits, he destroys?
That's 4.
That's 4. That is 4.
That's 4. Yes, that's as is mine. 3 is a close second to my second. So, whatchamacallit? But 3 was with Mr. T. 3 was with Clever.
Oh
Lang.
yeah, Clever Lang.
In the beginning of that movie, now Rocky obviously he lost to Apollo Creed in the first one. Then he beat Apollo Creed in the second one.
There won't be a rematch.
Yeah. Well, that was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah. So
and there was a rematch.
And there was a rematch, right?
And now Apollo Creed is on Mandalorian.
Right. So he was also in Happy Gilmore, but that's besides the point. Right. But in any event, no, in the beginning of Rocky 3, he's the intro of the whole thing is it's the end of the fight from the 2, right? Every fight, every Rocky has
this is with what's his name? The blonde guy.
What are you talking about?
The bad guy in it, the guy he fights is the blonde guy, right?
Oh, Dolph Lundgren.
No, that's Rocky Four.
That's Rocky Four. No, he fights Mr. T, the bad guy.
Oh, in 3. Then it's number
three.
2 though. He fights the blonde guy. Never mind.
No, number 2 he fights Apollo Creed again.
What's up with the blonde?
That's 5. That's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was it was more on that in a minute, but in any event, I'm getting somewhere with the beginning of the montage.
How does this relate to arcade games?
I'm getting there. The montage, the beginning montage after he obviously wins, beats Apollo Creed, because every Rocky, the beginning of every Rocky is the last 5 minutes of the
first Rocky, the prior Rocky,
right? So, but anyway, so after that happens, it's the montage of him winning all these other fights, right? He wins these like 10 other fights and everything else. He's the champ for years and everything else. And then once the montage is over, it's Paulie. Paulie is drinking and he's hammered and he's stumbling from bar to bar, and he walks into an arcade and he's drunk, walks up into an arcade, and he looks at this pinball machine, and it's a Rocky pinball machine. So, and at
this point, Paulie is really bitter because Rocky's become so big and Paulie's still nothing.
Paulie's still Paulie, right?
He's still Paulie.
So he takes his bottle of his pint of scotch that he's keeping in his jacket, and he throws it through the thing and breaks the pinball machine. And now, obviously, he gets arrested. Rocky has to come bail him out. Blah 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 blah. And that's the beginning movie. But I was thinking about the Rocky pinball machine when you said Journey had a pinball machine. Well, there was a Rocky pinball machine.
No, they had an arcade machine, not a pinball machine.
No, arcade machine. Yeah.
Kids had the pinball machine.
Kids had the pinball machine. So.
And it was the cover from the album again with the D.
Destroyer.
Yeah. So I had to go to a third beer. I had to go to a Wookiee beer.
Oh, yeah, you have a Wookiee beer?
You know what's in here.
I know what's in there.
You can see what's in there.
It's a goat, right?
It's the best. It's not the greatest of all time. It's the best of all time.
Gotcha.
Actually, it's the bestest of all time.
Bestest of all time. There you go. Well, there's the best of all time, the greatest of all time, and then the bestest of all time.
The bestest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other games. There were so many great games back then. And the thing is, they were all different types of games. You had like 1942 was you're in the middle and everything's surrounding you, but you stay in the middle. Everything. Sinistar was the same way.
Right.
Everything moved around you. There was the left to right games. There was a lot of them were shooters. Some of them were go and kill things. Lunar Lander was a left to right game.
Right.
Like I said, Defender was the only left to right, right to left. You can go off the screen in any
direction. You can go off the screen in any direction, yeah.
That I remember. I don't know that there was any others that did that.
Journey
was a left to right game.
Right. Dig Dug.
Oh my God, I forgot about Dig Dug. I was actually decent Dig Dug. And there was another game that was very, very similar to Dig Dug. And I forget what they called it.
I forget.
But it's pretty much the same exact game with a different name.
There was what's the sequel games? Yes. Right. There was Pac-Man. There was Miss Pac-Man.
Yep.
Donkey Kong was Donkey Kong Jr.
Asteroids had Asteroids, and there was the year after it.
Something like that. Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people sitting there going, "You're doing a beer podcast, and you're missing one of the video games." Tapper. There was a beer themed video game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just said, what was the? Then they started getting the ones that had the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there was like a shootout at the OK Corral game or something like that.
Yep.
Then it turned into like zombie shooters. And my friend Bill and I were playing that at Game Vault. It was called Area 51.
Okay.
Something like that. They weren't zombies; they were aliens.
Right.
It was called Area 51.
Right. Spy Hunter.
You were doing well when you reached the sax solo.
No, that's the beginning of it. Yeah,
that's the beginning of it. When you get that, and it just goes into the sax solo. That means you're doing pretty well, and shit's about to get real.
What is that music from? What is it? The theme?
That's from? Henry Mancini.
And it's the theme from
Peter Gunn.
Peter Gunn. Very good.
There you go.
Give that man a shrew.
Very good. Very good. You get a cookie.
You get a cookie.
Which is one of my favorite lines from
Very good. You get a cookie.
Don Rickles says it.
Okay.
Kelly's Heroes.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He does. He does.
Great
He
movie.
does.
Oh God, there was so much.
I know why you said that. Like just when you said, I know it's Kelly's Heroes, but when you said Don Rickles, I just thought of like this ensemble cast, and I thought of Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run. Oh, you get so many great.
There's so many. Yeah.
Wild Wild World, something like that. No, what was that? Where they were all on a. It was like a treasure hunt.
Oh, it's a Mad World.
Mad World. That's it. Mm-hmm. That was it. He's not in that one.
The old man kicked the bucket.
He literally kicked.
He literally kicked. And who was the old man that kicked the bucket?
I don't remember.
Jimmy Durante.
Yeah. So much. But we were talking about video games, like you said.
We were talking about. We went from beer to video games to
movies.
1950s ensemble cast comedies.
Yes. Kelly's Hero wasn't technically supposed to be a comedy, and it wasn't from the 50s. Actually, it was from the 70s.
I was talking about Mad World.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the 50s. Kelly's Hero, because you've got Clint Eastwood.
Actually, I think it was from the 60s. I think it was from the 60s because it was. If you remember, Mad World was in color. I don't think they didn't make anything in color in the 50s. It was the 60s.
I think Kelly's Heroes was 70s because it was Telly Savalas, Clint Eastwood, and Donald Sutherland.
Yep.
And there are 3 soldiers in World War II, but Clint Eastwood pretty much plays Clint Eastwood. Donald Sutherland plays Donald Sutherland, and Telly Savalas plays Telly Savalas. In the fact of their most famous roles, Telly Savalas is very much kind of Kojak in this, but he's not solving crimes. You've got Clint Eastwood is very much either Dirty Harry or the wild, the spaghetti western roles that he played.
Sure.
And Donald Sutherland's a complete other pothead burnout. He was famous for the line. That's my doggy impression.
There you go. Kelly's Heroes from 1970.
Yeah, so it was the 70s, but just right there. And
Mad World is 1963.
There we go. Very close to the 50s. But not only had Don Rickles, but you had Carol
Burnett.
No, not Carol Burnett.
O'Connor.
Carol O'Connor. He's the general. So, and then you also had Gavin McLeod in that.
Sure. Captain Steubing.
Captain Steubing from The Love Boat.
Captain
Always the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Yeah. One of my... I'll say this and we'll wrap up the 50-year-old TV movie talk. Excuse me. I love when, especially it's usually in a sitcom, right? But I love when a character in a sitcom, right, or an actor that's a character in a sitcom refers to, or somebody in that scene refers to a former sitcom or former show that they were in. Like,
I love this stuff. Yeah,
I love it when they like that. When they throw those little Easter eggs, right? Those little things, right?
And the thing is, people think that it's just Marvel has done that. No, they've been doing this for a long time. Long time. Cannonball Run did it.
Yep. So now one thing, like we make no bones about the fact that we both like the show Gilmore Girls, right?
Yes.
All right. And one of the best Easter eggs in Gilmore Girls was when Carole King is a character on. She's an actress that plays a character in Gilmore Girls. She owns a music shop, and they walk into a couple characters in the show walk into her music shop. And Pleasant Valley Sunday from the Monkees is playing in the background.
Because who wrote it?
She wrote that song for the Monkees.
Yes.
There you go. And
you've got Cannonball Run. I think it was Cannonball Run 2. Where Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise are in the helicopter.
Yep.
And they're trying to think of a new gimmick for this Cannonball Run. And Dom DeLuise goes, I've got it. Black Trans Am, Golden Eagle.
Nah, it's been
feel
done.
it's been done.
It's been done.
Another great one is where they took from one TV show to the other TV show, where you've got the opening to A-Team, where Face is standing there. He's in Universal Studios, and a Cylon walks by.
Yeah.
Can't figure out why that looks familiar.
Yeah.
Because it's Dirk Benedict who played Starbuck in the first iteration of Battlestar Galactica.
Exactly.
So I love all these.
I love that.
They did it in Ghost Rider.
Yep.
In Ghost Rider, because Paul Newman's Ghost Rider, Nick Cage lays down the chopper with the American flag gas tank. He lays it down at the crossroads, and Paul Newman plays that's Paul Newman, right? Plays the devil. And he looks at the bike and goes, nice bike. Because it's a replica of the one that he rode in Easy Rider.
Yep.
Gotta love these little homages.
So it's like all these homages, all these Easter eggs. So the thing I was going for was in Married with Children.
All right, Peter Fonda. It's Peter Fonda.
It was Peter Fonda. Oh, well, yeah, you're right. It was Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda. Yeah. So what you call it? So in Married with Children, what's his name? Ted. Who's the actor? Ted McGinley.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Ted. It's Ted, right? The guy that was in Revenge of the Nerds. He was the quarterback in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, Ted McGinley. He played
Ted McGinley. Yeah,
he played Jefferson. Yes,
he played Jefferson. Right.
Yeah.
So at one point he's standing there, and like there's a lot of like craziness going on. He's standing. He's good friends with Al Bundy, right? And he's standing there.
The neighbor. Al hated him.
Now, no.
At first he did.
At first he did, and then they were friends. Al hated his wife.
Yes.
Marcy
Darcy.
But in any event, so they're standing there, and he's all confused, and he looks at Al, and he goes, Fonzie, Captain Stubing, Al, like that, because Ted McGinley was in Happy Days.
Yes.
And he was in Love Boat. So it was just...
He's just losing it.
I just love it.
There's so many great Easter eggs out there. I can't even think of. I mean, we thought of a lot of them already, but yeah, I love that. I love that stuff. The references to previous.
Yep. And if you don't know, you don't get it. It's just something in a scene, right? It's just they're yeah. So that's great. Like even in Friends, there was just watched an episode the other night. On and before going to bed or whatever, and there was a scene where Elliot Gould plays Monica and Ross's Geller's father, right? Yeah. So he says something about when Monica was dating Tom Selleck, right? And he's talking about how Tom Selleck is like a new man, and he says it's unbelievable. It's like a scene from Cocoon. Courtney Cox was in Cocoon, so it was just
as kind of a child. She was very young.
No, she was probably in her early 20s. She was probably in her, she was. I mean, she was playing like a 24, 25-year-old when Friends first started, and she was already 30 something.
Another one of my favorite ones was actually Exorcist 3, The Exorcist that nobody watched because Exorcist 2 sucks so much. Right. But Exorcist 3 was such a great movie. And at one point, Brad Dourif plays the Zodiac Killer. And if you know Brad Dourif, you know he voiced Chucky. And at one point, and I can't remember the actress name now, played Patton. George C. Scott.
Yeah.
So George C. Scott's the cop. And he looks and goes, okay, well, how do you get out of here? And Brad Dourif leans back and goes, it's child's play. The very next scene is a kid, curly blonde hair, red and white striped shirt, wearing overalls. It's like, very nice.
Nicely done.
Very well done.
So,
yeah, I love stuff like that.
I do as well. All right. Well, this has been a very, very I enjoy the show. Actually,
eclectic,
very
kind
eclectic,
kind of all over the place. But
beer news, beer fun, good beer,
a lot of beer opinion,
beer opinion,
and then nostalgia,
a little nostalgia. So works for me. So,
and I'm drinking the best of all time here.
You are drinking the best of all time. All right.
And for those of you who are not sure what I'm talking about, you better, if you watch the show, you better know the hell I'm talking about. What we're talking about. This beer right here.
Boat from Carton. All right.
Put my Chewbacca koozie over here.
There you go. So, all right. So, little news for everybody. Samurai will not be on the show next week.
No, I will be traveling to, as Carrie calls it, Uda. We'll be flying. We've got a little layover in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Not enough to get out of the airport and do anything, unfortunately.
There you go.
But fortunately, that gets us into Salt Lake City in time so that we can drive to In-N-Out Burger.
There you go.
Before we check into our Airbnb. But we're doing the we'll be hitting a bunch of breweries, and I will go live 2 Tuesdays from now in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Arizona. Who knows? We'll see. I'm talking to a couple of breweries about doing this. It may just turn into me in the Airbnb with some beers from Utah.
There you go. One way or the other, you'll be on the show. We'll be doing this right here with Utah involved in the show.
Somehow.
2 weeks from tonight, and Matt and I will be on location doing the show.
Where are you going to be?
We are going to be up in Glens Falls, New York.
I know where that is. That's just south of the Adirondacks.
Just south of the Adirondacks.
Just south of Lake George.
Right near the border of Adirondack Park. So yep. We'll be up there. So so we'll be up there doing the show live from up there. And so it'll be fun couple weeks. So tune in. Look forward to it.
And then when I get back from Utah, we may have a special guest.
We may. We're not going to say anything. It's
not yet.
We'll announce it at the appropriate time.
Yes. Right now it is on a need to know basis, and you don't need to know yet.
That information is information that you do not need to know.
It is classified.
It's totally classified. We will bring that up when the timing is.
It correct. Might even be top secret. Bum, 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 bum.
Could be top secret.
Could be top secret.
Could be top secret. One way or the other.
It could be beastly even. We'll see.
Hopefully you'll be listening.
Me?
Not you, people out there.
I plan to be on the show. Yeah. I better be listening.
Hopefully they'll be listening.
Oh, those people out there.
Right.
Them.
All of them.
Both of them.
All the three of them out there.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. And we're talking about you. Yes, you right there.
I got to fix that later.
Yeah, you might want to fix that later. All right. Well, that's what's going on over the next couple of weeks. So tune in. We hope you enjoyed today's just the two of us show. We are.
And if you didn't, okay, whatever.
And if you didn't, just tune in next week, and hopefully it'll be more fun. So, but on that note, we will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte.